Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DIDIOTS podcast. We are two idiots with DID.
Or OSDD.
And or OSDD.
We're two idiots with a dissociative disorder.
Yeah. And that's our credentials. And today we're talking about fake claiming.
Yep. Fake claiming is really, really shitty. And we forgot to film an intro, so that's why you're going to see a difference. But ignore that. We are totally professional podcast makers.
Definitely.
This is totally not our first time making a podcast. But yes, enjoy episode 1. I was muted that whole fucking time.
Oh no!
I'm so upset. I'm so sad.
Oh no!
So fake claiming!
It's not fake claiming!
I hate fake claiming with a burning passion. I do.
Same.
It is not it's not a good thing. Now that fucking Twitch is fixed.
Right.
I swear I've streamed before. You'd have thunk it.
Right? You'd think that
Okay. Alright. So to restart the point, fake claiming is literally the worst thing you could do to a system, regardless if they're fake or not. Because they literally, if they're not faking, then excuse me, if they're not faking, then you're bullying someone with a disability. If they are faking, you're giving them the attention that they want.
Right.
And I mean, even we've fallen we've fallen into the trap. So we can't say we're innocent.
Yeah.
And we will fully admit that. But the singlets trying to talk over systems is what is really getting to us.
My light falls out.
It'd be like that. It do.
It do. Oh, it's so bright. Okay, there we go. But yeah, especially, oh my god. The singlets that piss us off the most are the ones who are like, oh, you're making it so hard for people who really have this disorder.
And you're like,
and then they go,
we actually have this disorder.
Like, we have this disorder. You're the ones making it worse for us because you're constantly bullying us because we don't fit your picture perfect ideal of how this disorder presents.
Literally. I'm sorry, I'm polyfragmented. That's not my fault.
Right?
None of this is my fault.
Sorry, we're just existing here, I guess.
And, I don't think they realize that, it's not like we chose to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
We are completely like this because of what other people did to us.
Yeah.
This is a disorder caused by humanity.
It's a trauma disorder. You're literally bullying people who went through childhood trauma.
Literally.
For what? Because, oh, they're a little bit strange? We're a little bit strange?
Quite literally. It's really ridiculous. And I just don't understand the logic that they have half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they try to say one thing and then they'll say the exact opposite thing. But like they'll say, "Oh, how are you so aware?" And the DID people like are not aware of their alters at all. But then they'll say, on the other hand, they'll say, "Oh, you have like like if you say like, oh, where am I or who am I or whatever," they're like, "Oh, DID doesn't present like that. You're faking. You're..."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that's the fucking amnesia. Hello?
Right?
Like, we don't know who we are the whole time. Like, the identity confusion is one of the main points of DID.
Mm-hmm.
And OSDD. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, identity confusion is the main part of the fucking disorder.
Right? So it's like, oh, I remember, oh my god, one time we got posted to Fake Disorder Cringe because during a live, an alter who hadn't been to the front before came to the front.
Mm-hmm.
And they had said like, oh, I'm new. Meaning like I'm new to the front, not like new to the system. They're just like, oh, magically forms a new alter. It's just like, they just make shit up half the time.
Yeah, they read too much into things. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because we posted something about something in high school, and they were like, "Is this part of your trauma?" And we're like, "No, it was something that a teacher was being ableist, like it
Right?
and it didn't even have to do with us. It was to do with another student. They're like, "Is this part of your trauma?" And we're like, "No."
Right?
Like, we really just don't understand why they think the way they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be completely honest, like, and like we've been posted for Fake Disorder Cringe for like really dumb stuff too, like
Mm-hmm.
alters dating each other. That's a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
the whole thing, like, oh, alters can't date it. Like, they're separate people. They're gonna,
yeah,
just because they're sharing the same body doesn't mean that they're
yeah,
not
the
gonna
same
like each other.
right? Like, do they not realize that like people you're close to in proximity are more likely to be the ones you fall in love with? Like, that's why you see so many people like in high school dating each other and not dating outside of the high school, is because it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and not just for like convenience sake, but like we know it's like in a way we can like read each other's thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a lot easier to communicate
Yeah.
than with a singlet.
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't get it.
Yeah.
But what they think, you know, DID system has to be 100% blackout switch all the time. And like, no,
Yeah.
that's not how this works. And like 100% blackout switches only happens in about 6% of the DID population, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's just ridiculous that they... And like, we even talked to our therapist about it, and she's like, well, I can see why people don't understand, but I don't understand why they're rude about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, she knows about all of the relationships in our system. Like, she knows about like everything in our system. Obviously, she's our therapist.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's really annoying because singlets just think that they know everything about everything, and they don't.
Right, they'll do like 10 minutes of research and then be like, oh, I'm an expert in how this disorder works, and
Takes one class, says that DID is a different disorder than it is, Like, DID and OSDD are traumagenic disorders that present in many different ways, depending on the person, because it's an experiential disorder.
Yeah.
So, like, the amount of experiences with DID is the amount of people with DID.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's what people don't get, is the system forms around what we needed, not around some fucking criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It just... Singlets.
Singlets are ridiculous. They think they know everything. They're like, oh, well, you can't have this because, well, why would, another thing that irks me is when they're like, why would anyone with this disorder be open about it?
Maybe because I'm not ashamed of who I am.
Right? Maybe it's because there's stigma around it and we want it not to be stigmatized.
Maybe because I don't want to live my entire life hidden. Like, and they don't realize, like, a lot of people who are out online mask 90% of the time. And they're just out online. Like, you wouldn't think that we mask all the time, but we mask all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But literally the only person that IRL we do not mask around is our therapist. We even mask around our family.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that is just the reality of the disorder. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because it's a covert disorder. It's the kind of disorder where a lot of the times you do end up masking.
You can end up making it to where it's not everyone else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our point of view, is we don't want to make it everyone else's problem.
Yeah.
But, like, when we're on the internet, we are allowed to be unapologetically ourselves.
Seriously.
And that is, like, our viewpoint on it.
Yeah, it's like, let people just kind of, like, exist.
For real.
You know?
Let people exist. That just should just be a thing. Just let people exist. But it's just, and, like, I don't want to get into, like, the specific discourse that's going on, but, like, people attacking specific systems is really irking us. Because it's like they present in certain ways that other people present, and it's like, chat room system did a fantabulous video. And I literally just used the word fantabulous, and I didn't even mean to. Did a fantastic video that was about, like, imposter syndrome. And how if you fake claim somebody, that people that relate to that person are just going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're like, oh, we related to this person, but we must be faking because everyone's saying they're faking.
Right. Like, that's one of the reasons we wanted to start making videos and, like, being a part of the community, is because we know that our system can present in ways that's a little weird, a little atypical.
Same.
And we want to show people, like, just because a system may present a little bit weird doesn't mean that they're not a system.
Right. And, like, we are both coming from a position of privilege. We're both medically recognized and diagnosed with our respective disorders. So people are more likely to listen to us. And so that's part of why, like, that's part of why I was speaking on our experience as early as we were. Just because we were medically recognized. We were open with our therapist from day one. We were like, we have a different experience because we got lucky because our therapist is just an amazing person. And that is not
we got
good
super
to
lucky
find.
with our therapist.
And that's so hard to find. That is so hard to find. And I'm actually going to oh shit. That showed up on the wrong screen. Rip me. It's fine.
Oop.
Put something in chat because it's a good link. Where is it? It's a Find Me a Therapist video. And it's step by step how, and I'll put it in the description of the YouTube video as well. But it's how to step by step how to find a therapist online without insurance. It's by a therapist too. And but therapy needs to be more accessible. It really does.
Therapy does need to be more accessible. Everyone should go to therapy. Therapy is good for people.
Everyone should go to therapy. I believe everyone would benefit from therapy. Like, even if you're neurotypical, no disorders or anything, you would still benefit from therapy.
Like just... I know our parents both need therapy. I'm just like...
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's the part of, like, you can't force people to go, and therapy is so stigmatized. Because everyone thinks that if you're going to therapy, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But there doesn't have to be anything, quote-unquote, wrong to go to therapy. And that's something that we try and emphasize as well. Is, like, going in when it's good is just as important as going when it's bad. Because you need to get that relationship with your therapist. You need to learn that communication skill with your therapist for when it gets bad. You need to have that relationship with that therapist. But, like, the worst part is that a lot of people, just, like, tying this into fake claiming, a lot of these people fake claiming are like, I'm getting a psych degree. You're the last people we want getting a psych degree.
Do not get a psych degree if you're going to tell people that they're faking it.
It is against the ethical code for a therapist to diagnose somebody outside of their clientele, and by telling someone that they're faking their disorder, you are breaking that ethical code and can lose your license as a therapist. So I genuinely hope that your future employers see these videos. I really do. Sorry, that just, like, awakened some petty bitch.
It'd be like that.
Literally, we make the joke that our grandma's maiden name is Petty, so we are a quarter petty. But that's not her name anymore, so it's fine. No one can track us down anymore. Because it's a pretty common name. But I really hope people's, like, future employers see the shit that they're doing on the internet. Because it's absolutely horrible. It's absolutely horrible. They are literally bullying traumatized people and re-traumatizing them. It's ridiculous. And the worst part, which we're talking to one of our alters here, is systems doing it to other systems. Because we should be the first people to be on someone's side when they say that they are a plural.
Yeah.
In no matter what way, shape, or form they present.
Because it's, like, such a scary thing to be, like, to realize, like, oh, there's multiple people.
Yeah, it's
in
terrifying.
This body.
And, like, people can obviously misunderstand what's going on in their brain or find a different way to explain it than what science is saying. Because like, if they find a way to explain what's going on in their head, that's not science, but they still find a way that explains it for them, the science may still be correct, but just let them believe what they need to believe and make it easier for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to make this completely, like, unfiltered as possible, trying to just give our opinions on everything.
Yeah.
Because we really do want to make a difference in the DID community and make a difference in how people see our disorders. But people won't take us seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
But, like, we can be laughing and goofy and funny and whatever, but realistically,
it's like,
oh, go ahead.
Like, they think that people with this disorder are just miserable all the time. So if you're not miserable all the time, then you're obviously faking.
Literally. And it's like, you literally, like, I may be miserable, but I'm putting on a smiley mask.
Right? It's like,
because that's what I do.
It's just because we're sad, just because we have, like, just because we're not feeling the greatest doesn't mean we're not gonna try and have a good time still.
Literally, the one coping skill I was taught as a kid was that laughter is the best medicine. That is the one coping skill I was taught as a kid. And that, like, making fun of yourself before other people make fun of you, like, making humor out of situations just is better in, like, every way. Because my dad was generally a funny guy, even though he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But, like, that's what we were taught, was to make a joke out of everything, was to laugh about everything. But that didn't mean that we weren't still, like, hiding really deep shit.
Yeah.
But we were taught that laughter was what was going to make everything better. So we, like, invest the time into, like, comedy and whatnot, because we always loved watching, like, stand-up comedy and stuff like that. Like, that's
and, like, we grew up, our dad is a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
And so we grew up with comedy, so, like, of course that's how we're gonna deal with stuff.
That didn't hit.
Awful. That's always the worst.
That's the worst. I preheated it too.
Ooh, oof.
Rip. But no, like, the worst is the singlets making fun of people. And not fake claiming people, not, like, correcting misinformation, making fun of people. Like, what is wrong with you? Where you make fun of disabled people.
It's like, wow, you're so funny. You're making fun of someone with a disability. Way to go.
Yep, way to go.
Woohoo, you're making fun of a traumatized person. I bet you feel so good about yourself.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
Because
even verified pages I have seen make videos with the alter intro audio from the Wonderland system. Verified pages making mocking things with that audio. And I am like, you are disgusting. It is absolutely horrible what some people are doing. It is absolutely horrible what some people are doing.
Yeah, like, we had a issue we're still dealing with is there's someone in our Discord server that keeps posting us the Discord server to fake disorder cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Which every time we get posted there, we get the mods to take it down, luckily.
Good.
But they had like 3 different accounts that were in our server for the sole purpose of
Posting
making
it
fun
to
of a
FGC,
bunch of
yeah.
disabled adults.
Yeah, because your server's 18 plus, and wasn't it found out to be like some 15-year-old that was doing it?
Yeah, they're 15.
So they joined a space that they weren't allowed in the first place, and it was.
And they were pretending to be a system on at least one of their accounts.
Who's the real DID faker then, huh?
Right?
What the fuck?
It's like these people
will
say
fake
that people are
DID.
faking DID, and then they'll fake DID to try and call out fakers. And it's like, what are you do? You're the one that's faking. Like,
Oh my fucking god, that pissed me off.
yeah.
Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. But it's like these 15-year-old kids who are like learning shit from Reddit and thinking that they know everything.
And just like, oh, you're so obviously faking because I think you're faking.
And we're like, give us like obvious evidence that we're faking, and they're like, lists 10 things that systems can actually do, and we're just like, really.
It's like, really, sweetie,
Yeah, really, sweetie,
really, truly.
Because, honey, sweetie baby, if you want to debate with anybody, you can debate with my therapist, and she will win. What the hell?
Our therapist is just like, our therapist has seen us switch multiple times.
Oh yeah, same.
And seen just our complete mannerisms change.
Yep,
So
same.
she's been like, I've seen it.
Yeah, our therapist has met a lot of people. But it's absolutely ridiculous what people are trying to pull. Thinking that people, because like, yeah, we know there are people faking this disorder, but fake claiming is not going to do anything, because someone who's obviously faking could still be a real system that's like in denial about a lot of shit. Lily, will you stop? Gotta love Cat doing
Cat invasion.
Yep. There's like 3 cats in here doing dumb shit. But
Our cat's just chilling next to us.
But it's like they will literally go on and harass like 3 creators and like think that that's okay. It's not, and we're really mad about it. Because like when we discovered our system, we were freaking scared.
Yeah.
And so we turned to people who we knew had systems. And so that's what other people are going to do.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to turn to what they know. They're going to turn to, like, because when we discovered our system, we were thinking that, like, we were just age regressing. And we were part of, like, an age regression Discord server. And there were systems in there. And so when we figured out that we were a system, we talked to some people in the Discord server, like, hey, we think we're a system, actually. And, like, it was like that. And then told our therapist, and she's been, nothing but supportive.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, coming from, you know, college dorm room thinking we're age regressing to 152 alters is a freaking journey.
Yeah. And as for us, when we first discovered our system, we tried to talk about it with another system that we knew in person, and did not get a positive response.
Oh.
We were told that we were faking it for attention, that we just had BPD, that like, we did not at all get a positive response from the people around us. But we started therapy very soon after, because, like, Vex showed up on a Monday night. He was the first one to show up, and then by Thursday of the following week, we had our first therapy appointment.
Okay.
And it took like 3 sessions before our host was finally like, oh, by the way, I hear voices in my head. They tell me to do things. They take over my body. What's going on?
Fair enough.
Our therapist has been, like, very supportive throughout the whole thing, and has been, like, put us through diagnostic tests, and you know, has been like, oh, you're very obviously a system.
Yeah. Like, in our state, like, we don't have to go through, like, the testing and stuff. The therapist, with us having, like, 6 years with her, she was able to be like, you've been experiencing this for so long, you have amnesia, you have this, I can just list you with it. Because in our state, that's just kind of how it works. But she didn't want us facing medical discrimination, because, you know, the wrong primary care doctor, Lily? The wrong primary care doctor sees that and will just toss you into a hospital.
Right.
And that's not something she wanted to happen, so...
Yeah, like, I know my therapist has been, like, very adamant, like, make sure that if you go to a psychiatrist that they don't put you on antipsychotics, because you don't need antipsychotics.
Fair enough. Like, we're on... we're on a mood stabilizer that is also an antipsychotic. But it's mostly for mood stabilization. And hilariously, it also helps Tourette's. It's one of those catch-all medicines.
Nice.
And so, we haven't had a really bad tic day in a long time. Because thank you, Abilify.
Woo!
Whoa. And then we're on an antidepressant, and then we're on ADHD medication. Oh, and we're on an anti-anxiety. We just started that one.
Ooh. We're just on good old Zoloft and Abilify. I didn't know that was an antipsychotic, though.
Yeah, it's like a minor antipsychotic. It's like a very, very slight one. It's not like one of the first things they use. It's like, it's mostly used for mood stabilization.
Yeah, because that's why we're on it. It's for mood stabilization.
And, like...
That's the one that we haven't been taking.
Honey!
We're out of it.
Take your fucking meds, people! But, like, hold on. I want to see if that person responded to the comment that I responded back to. Probably not. No, I don't think so. Because I wanted to see if they said anything back to that. I still can't see those comments. So I'm not sure. Mooney, will you
I went to go look too, and I couldn't see him either. Like, it said that there were 3 more comments, and then I clicked to expand it, and then no comments showed up.
Yeah, that's what's happening to us. But, so
Thanks, TikTok.
Thanks, TikTok.
Woo.
But, like, they're trying to say that polyfragmented systems or whatever are a completely different disorder than DID. No.
No.
It's just...
No.
No!
That's... What? That's ridiculous. Singlets are wild.
That's basically what they're saying. Because,
wild.
like, they're like these DID fakers, so basically polyfragmented systems, and because that's what they think, is polyfragmented systems, Dream SMP alters, whatever. That's what they think. They're not... That's not how it works. You can get alters from brand new media. We are diagnosed and have alters from brand new media.
Same.
Like, it's not... We are diagnosed.
It's almost
and
like
we have alters dating each other. We are diagnosed and we have 150 plus alters. We are like, none of this goes against the diagnostic criteria for dissociative identity disorder. None of it goes against the diagnostic criteria.
Like, oh, you have alters from new media. It's almost as if people are still going through current traumas and stressors.
Literally.
Right, like, the brain doesn't just magically go, oh yeah, now I'll just stop making new people. So
once your brain knows how to make people, it's just gonna keep making people.
It goes, making people work, so we're gonna keep making people.
So then that's why we have so many fucking people.
So many people.
No.
People are like, oh, how can you even live your life with so many alters? And it's like, most people
It's
just
fucking
like,
difficult.
yeah, it's difficult. It's hard. You think this is fun?
You think I wanted this? But, like, God forbid we are happy living our life as a system.
Right?
God forbid
It's like,
we are
oh,
happy living a life that we have only known living as a system. They don't realize that we have not had a moment as a singlet. Like, we don't know what being a singlet is.
Seriously.
Like, and so coming to accept you are how you are because you can't fucking get rid of it is part of healing trauma. But that's just...
It's like, oh no, heaven forbid systems be happy.
Yeah, it's like, God forbid you love yourself.
Right? It's like, no, you have to be miserable all the time because you're crazy and you have people in your head. That's how they think. It's like, you're not allowed to be happy, you're not allowed to have fun and make jokes.
Yeah, like, God forbid I make fun of myself.
It's like, oh, you're romanticizing this illness. It's like, no, I'm just existing.
What do they even mean by you're romanticizing this illness? What do they even mean? What do you mean?
Like, oh, you're making it seem fun and quirky to have.
I will never for a second say this is fucking fun to have.
It's just like, just because I'm fun and quirky doesn't mean my disorder is fun and quirky.
Yep. Just because I'm cute and trendy doesn't mean my disorder is cute and trendy. Thank you, Thought House.
Thank you, Thought House. Mwah.
But like, I literally want to go through like fake claiming TikToks right now and just like fucking talk about them.
Yeah.
Because these are ridiculous. But like new altars, large altar counts. Yeah, it's not like,
It's like, do you have
it's nothing new.
Too many altars? Then you're faking. Do you have too little altars? You're faking. Are altars too similar? You're faking. Too different? You're faking.
It's almost like this is a different. It's like almost like this is a disorder with identity confusion.
Right.
I'm actually gonna go.
It's like, oh, your handwriting is, it's different, but it's like, it's the same. So it's
almost like it came from the same hand, motherfucker.
Right. There's similarities, so that means that you're faking. I was watching videos on YouTube earlier of people fake claiming, doing like fake disorder cringe videos.
Like, I'm trying to look through. Anyone who uses the words like singletons or singlets is automatically a red flag. I'm sorry. I like to use a classifier because it makes sense.
Like, if there's systems, then there's, what do you call not systems?
Mentioning cults. Mentioning cult is a major red flag. While cults very much do exist, there's still a lot of baggage surrounding ritual abuse in that field and stuff. Psychiatry. Okay, but why is like it's so bad for like people to mention their trauma?
Right. It's like, oh, you have like an unrealistic type of trauma, so it's not real. You're faking.
People having a stutter, that's, I don't know the exact science behind that one, but it's completely possible though, because we have altars that go nonverbal and they stutter when they try and talk. So like it's completely possible. But like, animal altars, those are completely not, they're just saying like non-humans aren't real, introjects aren't real from recent media, saying they're too new. I can't. Saying her dissociative identity disorder doesn't affect her work life. How convenient. Honey. It's called masking.
It's almost as if this is a covert disorder when you're supposed to still be able to live your fucking life. Your life should be absolutely, if you had this disorder, then your life would be absolutely unlivable. Even though the point of this disorder is to help you survive.
Getting mad that rapid switching was posted online, saying it looks like a, but they said this looks like a generally stressful and emotional experience that shouldn't be posted online. Okay, so what's the problem with them filming it?
Right.
What's the problem with them filming it?
It's like, what's the big deal? How does it affect you?
Getting mad that people are focusing on the alters aspect and not on the dissociation, the PTSD, all the bad shit. And people are focusing too much on the alters aspect. They're mad about that.
Mm-hmm. So other YouTubers, other online personalities are allowed to only show part of their life, but those of
Right.
us with
With a
disorders
disorder.
can't.
Right.
We're not allowed to. Like, oh, you show too much, then that's bad. You show too little, then that's bad.
What do you want? What do you want from us? That is my question.
Right? Like, we had someone who was like, what's your proof? Post proof and I'll believe you. And we're like, well, here's literally a video where you can see us switching.
Yeah.
Like,
what more proof do you need?
Straight up. What more proof do you want? And then they just deleted all their comments.
Like, that's ridiculous. I'm good. I'm good.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's okay. We'll edit this before it goes onto YouTube. But like I really just don't understand people.
Same.
Because to speak on, actually, you know what? Fuck it. To speak on specific drama that's going on, that's probably going to be well over by the time the YouTube video comes out, but it's about right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Wonderland system is fucking diagnosed.
Yeah.
But everyone is dragging them through the dirt because they're cringy.
Right.
Like, if anyone should be dragged through the dirt because they're cringy, it's fucking us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have 7 fucking Twilight altars, okay? If that's not cringy, I don't know what is. Alright? But here's the thing. They don't think a diagnosis fucking means anything. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that just think that DID doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Which is part of the problem. But this disorder is an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
But people just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's too scary to talk about. Ooh.
And people are like,
spooky, scary DID.
People literally come into our lives and are like, oh, this is scary. And I'm just like, no, it's not. It is a human being living their life from trauma.
Mm-hmm.
This is something made by humanity. If you're scared, be scared of what people are doing to their kids.
Yeah.
And what are just doing to kids in general. Because they don't even have to be their kids.
Mm-hmm.
But just like, kids can't conceptualize trauma the way adults can.
Yeah.
So like, a kid cannot conceptualize an SA, but, like, just like they can't conceptualize being neglected, or someone yelling at them, or someone, like, hitting them. Like, all they know is someone that is supposed to be helping them is hurting them. They can't, they literally can't conceptualize the difference. All trauma is the same to a kid brain. And, like, people, like, literally just don't understand that. One of the issues that people see is the medical community is divided on whether DID exists, and don't understand that the medical community actually believes all the symptoms are real, but that we may not need another label, and that it may fit into a different already established disorder. That they miss that part. Thank you, Cozy Den. That was perfect. Like, the medical community was divided on this disorder. The medical community was divided on this disorder, like, maybe 20 years ago. Maybe 20, 30 years ago. But they are
people
not...
who are still, like, people in the medical community who don't believe that this exists are, like, outdated.
Literally. They have not updated their knowledge on mental health at all. And that's, like, what is ridiculous is people are using stances from 30, 40 years ago and literally just not listening to new sound science. Because everything I've seen is a stance from, like, 30, 40 years ago. And I'm just like, oh my god, can we, like, move past this? And, like, that's why we're writing our book, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we're making this podcast. That's why because we want...
That's why we're talking about it.
That's why we're talking about it. Is to destigmatize this fucking disorder. And the funny thing is the fake claimers are going to watch this and think we haven't switched this whole time.
Right.
Because it's a covert disorder, but we've switched 5 or 6 times.
Oh yeah, same.
But it's because we can keep on a conversation and keep the topic going. We don't have to stop and say, oh, it's this person. It's this person. We don't want to. We don't have to do that. We don't have to identify ourselves. And, like, but the fake claimers are going to be like, oh, you didn't switch. But, oh, dude, yes, we did. It's a covert disorder, baby. It is a covert disorder.
It's like, oh, you wouldn't be able to recover that fast after a switch. A switch is debilitating.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of my trauma. Let me get my protector. All right, we can continue the trauma now. I am the protector. You know, like, I'm sorry. That's not how dissociating works.
Right? It's not like, okay, yeah, let me go grab Jorge.
Jorge? I fucking love that. Let me go grab Jorge real quick. If switches were debilitating, it wouldn't be a way to keep us safe.
Let's get Orlando in here.
Yeah, if switches weren't debilitating, it wouldn't be a way to keep us safe. Exactly. And that's what people, like, don't get. We can, like, literally covert switch.
And, like, another thing that people don't get is, like, amnesia can set in later.
Yeah. It's, like, a delayed thing, especially because, like, we still have the memories, they're just separated. It's not like it's, like, the memories are gone. It's that they're separated. So it's like, I don't know. Fake claimers just don't make sense. They really don't.
They really don't. It's like they just make up stuff.
They really do. They make up stuff. They fake DID. They do the most to try and out fakers. But they're the ones. I'm still on that.
Yeah.
They faked fucking DID.
Yeah.
Oh my god. They're like, it's so debilitating, but then at the same time, I get people in my chat saying that they don't want me on disability. But it's so debilitating. But they don't want me on disability. But they don't want me on disability.
Deserve to be but you're not.
Yeah.
It's so disabling, but you're not disabled.
Literally.
You can't live your life, but do it.
Quite literally. Their logic makes no sense. And, like, God forbid we want to do something for ourselves, like do tarot cards for money or whatever. Then they're like, go get a real job, go get a real job. And I'm just like, we have a real job. What?
Right? Sorry for, like, having a little side hustle.
Yeah, sorry for getting a side hustle in. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game, man.
Right?
Don't hate me, hate capitalism. That's what this all boils down to.
Yeah.
Don't hate me, hate my abuser. Don't hate me, hate capitalism. Don't hate me, hate the system. It's fine. So, any, like, final thoughts to wrap us up?
At the end of the day, fake claiming it doesn't do any good at all.
It doesn't.
Like, if someone's faking, this is a difficult disorder to keep up with.
They'll burn themselves out.
They'll absolutely burn themselves out eventually. Like, people fake claiming people with this disorder does more harm than people faking this disorder. Supposedly faking this disorder.
Right. And, like, we know there are people faking this disorder. Obviously, because fake claimers are faking this disorder.
Yeah.
But fake claiming is never okay. Like, it'll just wash themselves out. Like, they'll burn themselves out, you know? They give us a broken controller and are like, why don't you just play well? Bitch! Mood. That is completely accurate. Alright. Well, that is it for the first episode of the DIDIOTS podcast. We hope you enjoyed.
DIDIOTS.
Woo.
DIDIOTS episode 1.
We did it.
Woohoo! We did it. We did it.
Yeah. Oh, hicimos. We did it. It'll be edited, put on YouTube at some point. Yeah. Be lookout for, like, clips of it on, like, TikTok and stuff too, because that's what I plan on doing. Things like that. So, thank you all for joining